Hey, and welcome to episode 27, Property Mastermind podcast with Hilary Saxton. Today's podcast is, do rooming houses make good property developments? Wow, this is going to be an interesting show. Got the amazing Bob Anderson with me again. He's such a powerhouse when it comes to knowledge. And we're going to be covering, what are rooming houses like technically? Are they good investments? Who are they for? How you get involved? This is going to be great. So jump into episode 27 with Bob and I. Before we get started and kick off, giving away again, Secrets of Property Millionaires Exposed, the book with all of the different strategies in. And I'm giving this week to Sione and Adelaide Kipu. They just recently joined our community and they actually got a bit of a deal. We had a Black Friday sale, but they upgraded to the bundle, which was a really good move for them. And they are on a property mission. So one of these is in the post to you tomorrow morning, and I'll look forward to hearing how it goes for you. Anyway, let's talk about property developing rooming houses. Bob, first of all, thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming all the way down the hall.
Thank you.
Now,
all the way.
If this is your first time listening, you have to know that Bob is a legend, 38 years in the property developing space and currently building a retirement village, supporting, mentoring students to do big, small, fat and tall. Honestly, this guy, what he doesn't know is ridiculous. I don't know what you don't know. But anyway, you are a wealth of...
I don't know.
Yeah, no one knows what you don't know, but you never fail to astound me with your property developing knowledge and your willingness to share too, I have to say.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
So
We've got a great community to share with.
We do have a great community. So, yeah, if you want to join our community, we've got our Facebook open pages, Property Developer Secrets and Hacks. Jump into there. Well, it's a group, actually. So go there. But anyway, let's get on to the podcast. Are rooming houses good property developments, Bob?
They are, even if you're a developer and selling them, or why not develop and hold it? Because they do pump cash.
They are cash pumpers.
Cash pumpers.
When you say that, I think of one of those yabby pump things you do when we go fishing.
Well, I do pump yabbies.
Yeah.
And I like pumping yabbies when we're going fishing, but I love something that pumps cash as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, so rooming houses, or, generally you could say, you hear the term rent by room, and that can take different forms, of which rooming houses are one.
I suppose this is define what is a rooming house.
Yeah, let's define rent by room. So typically, if we have an investment property, it doesn't matter if it's a house or an apartment, townhouse, whatever it is, we generally rent to one person, or, it might be one family, or
or mostly we hope it's one family. We find out it's three.
Find out it's 3 or 4
Legally,
families
we're renting to one.
Yeah.
I've had that,
I know you have.
D-rama, anyway.
Yeah. So typically that's our tenants. They're a family or just a person or people, and we rent the whole house. That's the point. We rent the whole house. Rent by room is where you rent rooms to individuals, and that can take different forms. Talk about rooming houses, which is today's subject. Could be student accommodation.
Could be boarding houses. There's differences between all of those.
And so today it's rooming houses. So, the rules around rooming houses vary so much from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, not just state to state.
Yeah, councils, they vary.
Even councils. Even within the one state, you can have different rules at councils. And then you've got different, not just how they're run and how they're operated, but
the amount of people you can have in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Are the tax laws different as well in different states, or do they pretty much stay the same?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same. But look, around rooming houses, if you're going to develop them, you really need to get local knowledge. In other words, the council area that you're going to develop in, what are the rules around it? Because
that's like every development, Bob. You really need to have the council knowledge.
You do need local, because council are the ones that approve it. And as you know, councils can vary from one council to another. But there's down the road from where we live and where we used to live in Brisbane, you can go up to 5 unrelated people in a house. So that typically might be 5 bedrooms.
And that was that's under the definition of a rooming house.
Well, it's how many occupants you're allowed. Yeah. I can remember the day when it used to be 6. And I can't remember, it might have been 15 or 20 years ago now, I can't remember. It's all a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
they changed it from 6 down to 5. But then I've seen other councils where it's as low as 3, and then I've seen somewhere where it's as high as 8 or 9.
So if you've got a rooming house with 5 rooms in, and there's a husband and wife in one room, I know that's not the norm because they're generally not the demographic, or not often husband and wife, but it can be. Does that count as 2 because it's one room?
Once again, it's back to that. But you could call them a unit, I guess.
Right.
In relation to that. I've done student accommodation where we've had single rooms for single students and then like double rooms for, where a couple, 2 students might go. And that could be 2 singles or a double depending on what sort of relationship they got. So, that's more to do with the, furnishing. But, back to the rules, of course, And so that's one of the first things you need to know is that. And why it's different, from, say, a boarding house. Some people call rooming houses modern boarding houses, but they're not, because that's often a different definition. And boarding houses, if you think about what they typically are...
They're more like just a bedroom, aren't they? They don't necessarily get the whole... Because rooming houses pretty much have the little bathroom, the kitchenette, mostly.
It's shared accommodation, a rooming house, in that there's some common sharing. And that could be a kitchen...
Laundry. Lounge room.
Yeah, there might be like a large lounge room where people go to watch telly, or maybe even 2, sometimes one on each level
Different
or whatever.
Channels.
But some of it's shared. It's not fully self-contained.
Yeah.
Some have like a little tiny kitchenette. They have like an extended bedroom. When I say tiny kitchenette, it's like a little cupboard with maybe a microwave and or whatever there, But really, generally, typically they share a kitchen. It doesn't have to be that way. There's some shared accommodation that shares bathrooms, but generally a lot of them have their own bathroom.